You guys ready? Ready. Okay. Well, good evening, everybody. Before we call the city council meeting together, Scott Kennedy from Wesley United Methodist Church is going to open us with a word of prayer, and we'll do the flag salute, and then we'll go to the city council meeting.
Let us pray. Oh God, in this moment, before we undertake the seriousness of the business of the city, we give thanks to you for all who love and serve your city. We pray for the city of El Reno, for those who have prospered and for those who are struggling in the community. We give thanks for a government who sees its task to provide for the care of this community. We pray for those who provide security and safety, for leaders who look with visionary ways to futures that we otherwise might not be able to see. We pray that you would grant them wisdom, that you would guide their steps, their decisions, and that we may enter into a more fruitful and productive day through your leading. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Join with me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's now 5:31, and I call the El Reno City Council regular meeting of Tuesday, February 10th, 2026 to order. Roll call starting with Councilwoman Nethery.
Here. Councilwoman Brothers. Here. Vice Mayor Black. Here. Councilman Schaefer.
Here.
Mayor Jensen.
Here. Proclamation to the warden. Ryder, if you could come up here to the front. This is a recognition of bravery and if you guys don't know the story, there was a dog attack going on. Ryder's driving by, and it was this gentleman back here. Oh, okay, over here. Well, let me read this. This certificate is awarded to Ryder Watts for the exceptional bravery and selfless action demonstrated when you intervened to save another from an active dog attack. Acting with a mindset of maturity and with disregard for your own personal safety. This act reflects courage and compassion beyond your years, thus showing a powerful example of character, responsibility, and the impact one individual can show to another. Congratulations. Very proud.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, I didn't know you were talking to me. We got one more for you. KK, you want to come up here? Can't tell you how much it means to us that you stopped to take care of our son on that day that he was being attacked. And I know that your car was full of blood because you took him like a brave hero. You know, not all heroes wear capes. Not all heroes wear badges, but you're a hero in our book. So there's a little bit of something to offset the blood that you took in your car. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
At this time, we'll recess the city council meeting and go into our authority meetings.
It is 5:34 on this Tuesday, February 10th. Call the El Reno Airpark Authority regular meeting to order. Starting with roll call vote, Trustee Black.
Here.
Vice Chairman Jensen.
Here.
Trustee Brothers. Here. Here.
Here. Item C, consent agenda. The following items are considered to be routine by the El Reno Air Park Authority will be enacted with one motion. Should discussion be desired on any item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. There are 4 items.
Move to approve items 1 through 4.
Motion made
Second.
and seconded. Roll call vote starting trustee Black.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Jensen.
Yes.
Trustee Brothers.
Yes.
Trustee Nutter.
Yes.
Chairman Schaefer.
Yes.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
It is 5:35, and I call the El Reno Recreational Authority regular meeting to order. Starting with roll call with Trustee Schaefer.
Here.
Trustee Jensen.
Here.
Vice Chairman Brothers.
Here.
Trustee Nutter.
Here.
Chairman Black.
Here. Okay, we got the consent agenda. The following items are considered to be routine by the El Reno Recreational Authority and will be enacted with one motion. Should discussion be desired on any item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. We've got items 1 through 3.
Move to approve items 1 through 3.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. We can get a roll call starting with Trustee Schaefer.
Yes.
Trustee Jensen.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Brothers.
Yes.
Trustee Nutter.
Yes.
Chairman Black.
Yes. Okay, nothing pulled. Brings us to discussion items. Item number 4, discussion, consideration, action, and/or possible amendments to award quotes for project number 26-08, the Adams Park fencing materials and installation costs.
So we have some fence replacement that we're going to be doing associated with the Adams Park Master Plan. And Caitlin, did you want to discuss these items? It's broken into 2 parts. We have purchase materials and we have the quotes for installation.
Yes. So the item approves quotes to replace roughly 5,900 feet of deteriorated fencing at Adams Park. The current fence is no longer safe or functional, and the replacement will improve safety, reduce maintenance, and it aligns with the Adams Park Master Plan.
So this is a picture of the fencing, materials from Prefert is the company. And so we're buying materials from Prefert. And the cost is $25,780.36. And then construction and installation from Apex Fencing for $98,563.40. So this picture is actually from the Park and Mustang. They're using it. Recently installed it.
Any other questions?
No, I'll make a motion to approve project number 26-08. Do we need to line item out all those things or just the project number?
I would say go ahead and award material to Prefert for
$25,780.3, yep. And the construction installation to Apex Fencing for $98,563.40.
We've got a motion and a second. If we can have a roll call starting with Trustee.
Yes.
Trustee Jensen.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Brothers.
Yes.
Trustee Nutter.
Yes.
Chairman Black.
Yes. Okay, brings us to item number 5. Discussion, consideration, action, and/or possible amendments regarding resolution number 26-044, a resolution of the El Reno Recreational Authority and the City of El Reno establishing fees and charges for certain El Reno recreation and rental facilities.
So this establishes a formal fee schedule for our youth rec facilities, which is namely Ashbrook Complex for baseball and then the batting cages at Joe Riley. As participation has grown in recent years, maintenance and operating costs have increased. The fee schedules create consistency, helps offset those costs, and supports long-term upkeep. We will offer discounted rates to El Reno-based leagues, and then it'll be available for outside leagues as well, but at a higher fee cost.
Do you have an expected amount that it's going to profit?
Not that I'm aware of. I know that a lot of outside entities love to rent it, and we want to make sure that, you know, if they want to use our facilities, they're going to keep their business here.
Absolutely. I'm just wondering if there has been any discussion of what kind of profit there would be and improvements that would mean?
No, absolutely. I think this being our first year, it'll be educational for us all to kind of see how it does, and then if fees need to be adjusted in the future, we can propose those if it ends up costing us more because we're in repair, et cetera. We want to make sure that things that our costs are covered, but also it's an asset that we want to make available to all of our residents and then visitors with payment, to be honest.
And also throughout the budget amendment that's in the packet that we just approved over there, it actually shows that we believe that with roughly 100 kids enrolling over there, we believe the spring season will roughly balance out over there. Input equal output expenses. Revenues.
Move to approve resolution 2644.
Second?
Okay, got a motion and a second. We can have a roll call starting with trustee Nethery.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Brothers,
Yes.
Trustee Jensen,
Yes.
Trustee Schaefer,
Yes.
Chairman Black,
Yes.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
It's now 5:40. I call the El Reno Municipal Authority regular meeting of Tuesday, February 10th, 2026 to order. Roll call starting with trustee Nethery.
Here.
Trustee Brothers,
Here.
Vice Chairman Black,
Here.
Trustee Schaefer,
Here.
Chairman Jensen,
Here. Consent agenda. The following items are considered to be routine by the El Reno Municipal Authority will be enacted with one motion. Should discussion be desired on any item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. And we have items 1 through 3.
To approve items 1 through 3.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the consent agenda items 1 through 3. Roll call starting with trustee Schaefer.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Black,
Yes.
Trustee Brothers,
Yes.
Trustee Nethery,
Yes.
Yes. Nothing was pulled. Brings us discussion items. Item 4, discussion, consideration, and possible action to award project number P26-03 Waterline Main Extension to US 81 and Jones Road and allow Chairman Mayor to sign all documents associated thereto.
We have a water line installation project at Jones Road and US 81. You can see on the map on the overhead. The engineer's recommendation, in the letter in your packet, says the apparent low bidder is Exodus Energy of Shawnee. However, the bidder has acknowledged their bid does not include certain required scope and therefore does not represent a complete responsive bid. So the engineer's recommendation is to go with Marsal Enterprises of Enid, Oklahoma, the next low and most responsive bidder. Marsal bid $218,101.50. This will provide a new water line for the residents of Jones Road. The curve of old 81 there.
Any questions?
Move to award project P2603 to Marsal Enterprises in the amount of $218,101.50 and allow the chairman or mayor to sign all documents.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call starting with trustee Nethery.
Yes.
Trustee Brothers,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Black,
Yes.
Trustee Schaefer,
Yes.
Chairman Jensen,
Yes. Motion passes. Brings us to adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. It's now 5:43, and we will reconvene the El Reno City Council meeting. Consent agenda. Following items are considered to be routine by the El Reno City Council will be enacted with one motion. Should discussion be desired on any item, that item will be removed from consent agenda and considered separately. We have items 1 through 15.
Move to approve items 1 through 15.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve consent agenda items 1 through 15. Roll call starting with Councilman Schaefer.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Black,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brothers,
Yes.
Councilwoman Nethery,
Yes.
Mayor Jensen,
Yes. No items were pulled. Brings us to audience participation. Anyone having an item of business to present to the city council that does not appear on the agenda, please come to the podium at this time. State your name. You're requested to limit your presentation to 3 minutes. Any item being presented must pertain to City of El Reno business. The Oklahoma Open Meetings Act prohibits city council from taking official action on requests made during this portion of the agenda unless otherwise noted on the agenda. Anyone? Mr. Farley?
You know, I've been here, I don't know how many times, and I'm really disgusted with the council. They don't take care of our city. All they know how to do is tear down a building. Tear this building down, oh, we got a beautiful brick wall standing up there with poles holding it. We tear the town down, and I don't want to say they don't need to be torn down, but we're not taking care of we're not beautifying our city one bit. I've been on this spark plug deal for 2 years. I've been promised and promised and promised. You painted my area. I don't know whether you thought that shutting me up or not, but it won't. You might go down to high school and look across the street and you see the spark plug, 4 or 5 different colors. Are we ever going to do anything about it? Give me some answers and live with them. That's all I'm asking. Give me some answers what you're going to do. Nobody going to give me an answer? In other words, forget it, we won't take care of it. Is that what you're saying? Is that my answer? We're not going to take care of the fire plugs, we're not going to take care, you have taken care of the parks and the cemetery, that look great. But the rest of town, you're letting go down. Now, what are we going to do, people? Y'all are our leaders. When are you going to start leading us in the right direction? That's all I've got to say. I ain't going to talk no more.
Any other comments? Okay. Moving on to discussion items. Item 16A, to conduct a public hearing to rezone from combined residential district R2 to planned unit development, PUD, for the property described as a tract of land, a part of the northwest quarter of Section 8, Township 12, Range 7, west of the Indian Meridian, Canadian County, Oklahoma. I now declare the public hearing open.
The applicant first brought forth this application in November recommending a rezone to industrial. Staff and Planning Commission weren't necessarily concerned about their use, but the future implications industrial could have. So with the recommendation of Planning Commission, they tabled the item and brought back a PUD, and staff and the Planning Commission feel comfortable that it addressed all of our concerns for the long-term use. They just plan to use the existing building on the site. Planning Commission recommended unanimous approval with the conditions proposed by staff, and we spoke with the applicant and they were agreeable to. The only note I'll make is on the landscaping. After discussing with the applicant and seeing the site, I think landscaping is will be maybe more of a discretionary thing, maybe for future use, but for what they're doing, there's the creek there, it really doesn't make a lot of sense to add the landscaping at this time, in our opinion. Outside of the zoning, they will have to secure access through, I think, Canadian County. That they'll have to get an easement there, and it'll have to be built to our standards for fire, and they'll have to pull a driveway permit. But beyond, other than that, we don't see any issues with it. We didn't have any complaints from.
And you said, and it did pass Planning Commission unanimously.
Yep, with our conditions that are listed on the second page under the bullet points.
Okay. Terry, would you like to say anything? Or? Okay, or please come up to the podium. Tell us who you are and stuff.
I'm Victoria Finnegan at 1212 Crimson Creek Circle, El Reno, Oklahoma. I'm the engineer here on behalf of the applicant, and I'm here to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions? The road easement, you've talked to Canadian County or to work that out and everything?
Yes.
And it's, for your plans, goes north, I assume north to Foreman?
Yes, it does. Yeah. And our closing on this property is contingent on the county granting us that easement.
I see. Okay. Any other questions? Any other comments? Okay. I declare the public hearing closed. Thank you. Brings us to 16B, discussion, consideration, action, and/or possible amendments to approve ordinance number 9396, an ordinance to rezone combined residential district R2 to planned unit development PUD for a property described as tract of land part of the Northwest Quarter, Section 8, Township 12, Range 7, west of the Indian Meridian, Canadian County, Oklahoma. Any discussion?
No. I'll make a motion to approve zoning ordinance number 9396. And however specific we need to say all that with the exceptions as outlined by Municipal Planning Commission. Does that suffice? Or contingent upon all the hereto listed, right? Like, do we have to omit the landscaping in the motion? Yep. However we need to say it.
You have the conditions in it? Yes, I didn't know that. Okay, yeah, I think we need to make the.
To list them more specifically. So, to approve zoning ordinance number 9396, omitting the landscaping requirements.
Honestly, I think that the easement one and the existing structures are exempt, don't really need to be included. Or at least building and fire codes, that's not zoning, so maybe take those conditions out.
Doesn't apply either way.
Yeah, so maybe the first, second, and then the last one. For no additional structures, the warehouse use is limited to indoor storage and the existing structures are exempt.
What she said.
Get all that written down.
Right, it's these. No. Ones to keep in there. So, let's start over. Move to approve zoning ordinance number 9396 with these, no additional structures may be constructed. Warehouse use is limited to indoor storage of construction materials, inventory, office space, no outdoor storage is permitted. Existing structures are exempt from R2 setbacks. Future modifications must comply with district standards.
Second.
And a second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call starting with Councilman Schaefer.
Yes, I will approve that.
Vice Mayor Black,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brothers,
Yes.
Councilwoman Leathery,
Yes.
Yes, motion passes. Item 17A and B has been, hasn't cleared Planning Commission, so there's no reason for the council to take action on those. So brings us to item 18, discussion, consideration, action, and/or possible amendments regarding resolution number 26-041, a resolution by the City Council of El Reno, Oklahoma, affirming and finding a dilapidated structure at 110 North Bickford, authorizing the measures necessary to demolition or remove such structures, and authorize bringing any actions district court necessary to abate public nuisance, allowing mayor to sign documents associated to.
Hi, sorry, my name is Yan, and I got some updated as of last time. We talked about like repairing that loose stone. So I got it repaired this last week. Here's a picture of the loose stone that we talked about the last time. So this was the repair that done. They cut off the metal plate that's right in front of it. They reset it, and they put some, I don't know what you call it, but maybe I'll call it mortar, but I don't know what they call it. But they put it in between here and there as well. And they also secure all these bricks, they tuck points all these bricks right on open as well. And then there's a picture of them that's working on it while they're doing that. So I did that, and this is the receipts that was done for that run. And I also went ahead and asked to remove the boarded glass, because it was already repaired the last time, but it just wasn't removed, so it's now removed as well. So here's an updated picture of the glass that was removed. And then I also did a little bit extra just because I feel like it's probably needed. Because on the engineer report, it mentioned about the minor foundation there. That's due to like soil that's kind of blocking the exit of the water by the gutter there. So there's a gutter that's going down to the side of the building. And so there's a lot of soil that's compact right there over the years. And so it's kind of blocked the water from exiting the area. So then it caused like brick kind of falling out from there. So we clean out all those soil from there. And here's a picture of the work that was done. Everything was cleaned out. The whole alley was all empty out. And so now there's water can just go straight to the CD street now. That's what I have done so far. Just to recap of what was the violation. These are the picture of the violation, and I have addressed like a lot of them, basically most of them on here. So my request was to try to see if I can get removed from the demolition list. If there's anything else that I needed to do for like public safety, I'll be happy to address that if that's needed to be done. I request if we can have like a short list or something like that, or not short, but public safety list for me to kind of focus on so that I can address that. And then also if I can get moved to, with the zoning, to be meeting with the zoning, what I should try to say is the zoning / planning committee if I have to address any of the repairs here. I feel like it's probably be better for all of us here as well. But I think as far as I have, that's all I got there. Do you know if you have any questions?
Have any questions? Anybody have any questions?
Ms. Ritchie, from the January 13th memo and the August 18th list of violations, have all of those been addressed?
No, we're working on a list that are the top priorities public safety needs to get to her. We should have that to her by the end of the week. At this time, I'll say taking off the condemnation list is not something I would put my name to at this point until we ensure that public safety. I think we talked about maybe wording. I think she's concerned about support for grants, but just it being on a condemned, I think we can work with her on a letter, without taking it off the condemned list.
Ms. Ritchie, would you be comfortable if the council sent it back to planning commission to oversee it each month for the next couple of months?
I don't think this case really is a planning commission matter. I think we would feel if whatever.
Code enforcement.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm
I
sorry.
don't know if we need monthly. I think if council set a time frame they're comfortable, maybe we have some milestones, and maybe she checks in, every other month or every 3 months or something. Cause she is working towards it, and some of it, she's at the timeline of grant responses, so I don't know if we necessarily need to see her every month, but she has been communicating quite regularly with me, so, and then maybe once it gets a little closer, we can discuss bringing it forth back to council.
I am a little concerned because at the last council meeting, Councilman Black had asked you why this hadn't been done, for a while, and you said, we're in a better financial place. And then it looks like at the end of January, you said, well, I'm depending on grants. And I see you have spent some personal money, but is there more money to keep working, or is work gonna stop until grants?
So there's money that would be able to stabilize and do public safety. So I can take care of that. I have no problem with that. The reason I want to wait on the grants, because there are some grants that would be able to help me to move to the next step, because during the last meeting, I talked about the goal where I wanted it to be. So with the fund that I'm having, I'm not going to be able to get to where I wanted it to be. So with the grants that are helping me, my own money, my own private money, would be able to cover the gaps that the grants is not able to cover. So that's what I'm trying to plan out, to get things done and get more done with the building.
What's the plan B if the grants don't pan out?
I have loans that I work with Gerardo at Great Plains Bank, so that's an option as well. And then I have investors as well. The only thing right now that's kind of tricky is I see that it's on a demolition list, so they're not as willing to put in their money because they're like, well, I don't know if it's going to demolish tomorrow, and I'm not going to put my money in just because it might be a chance that it's going to be demolished tomorrow. And so that's the reason why I'm like, well, can we get this somehow get off the demolished list or something like that? That way.
I think we should clarify condemnation versus demolition. Council hasn't voted for it to be demolished, so it's still in the condemnation state. So that's your opportunity to get it out of demolition status. And so I think that's how we could word a letter. Condemnation doesn't always result in demolition. Mostly, oftentimes it doesn't.
So yeah, I think it would be helpful if I have like a list of the things that I needed to do to get it out of the condemnation list, right? Is that right?
Fire marshal and building as a courtesy to kind of point out some of those things, because your contractor wasn't able to meet us with you that day, but I mean, that was, you got those reports.
Right, I did get those. Okay. So as far
Well,
as like the.
we appreciate you making a lot of progress. I think everybody here and everybody in the community does. It's a beautiful historic building.
Right, yes, so that's the reason why I really want to make it going, like, yes.
Well, we applaud your efforts so far. Don't slow down. Keep working.
I think
Right.
procedurally, my recommendation would be to have her come back to this body in a certain amount of time, whether it's 30, 60, or 90 days, because she did file the appeal of the demolition order. And so Emily can then respond to a letter and say the demolition order is not final. She's still in the condemnation appeal process, but you all can give her however much time you want to check on the status report.
90 days is my thought.
I agree.
Okay, so I'll make the motion that this be reset on council agenda in approximately 90 days, however that falls. And we will look at how things are going, but keep working.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Motion made and seconded. Did you get the motion? Roll call starting with Councilwoman Nethery.
Yes.
Councilman Brothers?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Black?
Yes.
Mayor Jensen?
Yes, motion passes. Brings us to item 19A, presentation given by Cheyenne Arapahoe's Route 66 Roundtable Group regarding Project Buffalo Wallow.
Good evening. My name is Christine Newton, and this is Daniel Tallbear, and this is Andrew Stone. We at the Cheyenne Arapahoe Tribe, we have our Route 66 Roundtable Group, and we have been discussing different projects that we'd like to see happen. In doing so, we've formed a partnership with Mr. Sandage and also the El Reno Route 66 group. So we wanted to give a short presentation on an ideal that we would like to apply for funding for, which is coming up here on the 27th. We would like to possibly request a letter of support for this project. And I'd like to have Daniel say a little something.
Yes, my name is Daniel Tallbear. I'm the Director of Planning and Development for the Cheyenne and Arapahoe Tribe. Christine's been working on this project for 2.5 years now. With the Centennial coming 2026, Route 66, she's really put a lot of efforts into, just really honing in on a project and finding something that'll really just be collaborative between the city of El Reno and the Cheyenne and Arapaho tribes, just to kind of showcase both of us and working together to get something, just something that will celebrate the 66, and just how we work together, our partnership that we have. I'm really excited for what Andrew's going to show you. We've worked closely with him on this, and we're thankful for that. Just a letter of support for the grant funding. It's due February 27th, so I'll give it over to Andrew right now.
Okay. Great, appreciate it. Yeah, get some of those tourists going from east-west and get them more north-south too. But my name is Andrew Stone. I've been friends with Daniel actually for a long time. I'm a fellow Western Oklahoman. I'm an architecture designer as well as an educator. I worked as a young architect in Oklahoma City for a long time, and now I'm also work at the University of Oklahoma. So I run a small architecture practice out of Clinton, Oklahoma, or growing architecture practice really. Out in Clinton and Oklahoma City, and I'm also an educator, like I said, at University of Oklahoma, where I teach architecture courses in the department, but I also work for the Institute for Quality Communities that really focus on supporting small communities through research and graduate student support, so that's really been an honor to serve there. So, I've worked on a number of Route 66 projects now. I mean, if you had asked me 3 years ago, it would have been more sock hops and burgers, but now I've really realized how important it is to our regional narrative for sure. Staring down how tourism really translates to economic development has definitely been a priority of mine. But maybe most importantly, staring down celebration, but more importantly, revitalization. And I've had a few projects now get grants that are under construction. That'd be the Hub City Gateway out in Clinton, Oklahoma, and Hydro Bridge Monument. So these are all repurposed artifacts that are meant to stimulate, economic development, but also visitor engagement, but bridge that with local quality of life. So this is really just continuing that more than anything. And really, I think it's focused on not only celebration, but maybe celebration past just the centennial. So what we have here is Wallow 66, and I also want to say I'm very inspired by El Reno's master planning with Adams Park and the work you've done with the Mobility Hub and of course the service station. I'm doing the project out for Canute too. They had gotten the grant, and we're working out there on an activity center, a community hub. It also features, Route 66 heritage, the Heidi High Diner out there. So just El Reno's a poster child, I'd have to say. So like I said, over the past year, the Route 66 Committee, our roundtable, has really been working diligently to study a wide range of proposal areas, design, and community priorities along the Mother Road. Cheyenne Arapaho expands all across the Mother Road, across this region. So we've looked at conceptual explorations to detailed site considerations, and the process has been one of balancing heritage, function, and civic identity. So the Wallow Canopy really emerges as a synthesis of that work. It's a project that really embodies our committee's collective vision for how Route 66 revitalization can both honor history and serve a living community. We were really inspired by, kind of artifacts of the prairie, and what the buffalo really means to this part of the country, particularly in the Canadian River Valley. So here it is. The Wallow Canopy really is a sculptural shade structure proposed in Adams Park in El Reno. Now this thing can kind of float around, but we really nailed down in Adams Park, right along Route 66, where really this lineage of highway can really unfold into its origins of originally buffalo trails and how that grew into kind of modern road culture. So it's more than just a functional shelter. The canopy is conceived as a civic and cultural landmark, really meant to provide a gateway in and out of El Reno. It's rooted in Cheyenne-Arapaho heritage and shaped by a layered history of plains that tie directly back to the great highway of travel and commerce that is Route 66. So the canopy really draws its inspiration from this buffalo wallow, this shallow circular depression that the bison make by rolling in the earth. That was something we discovered kind of as an interesting artifact early on when we were going out on bison rides out at Concho there. So it kind of shapes the ground basically into a disc shape is what the buffalo does. You might have seen wallows. But instead of shaping the ground, the canopy really lifts up into the sky, and it really carves kind of these circular cutouts into the roof as like sunlight that kind of filters through and kind of creates these moving patterns. So the buffalo wallow has really always been kind of more than just an ecological trace. You know, for generations, this has been an artifact that's really carried multiple lives. You know, people used them as burial sites. They used them as hiding spaces, places of safety and gardens, all across the prairie. So I was really inspired by the writing of Josiah Gregg that would talk about buffalo wallows all spread around the plains, particularly in this area. He'd crossed through Oklahoma as kind of a merchant. And so it's really a wonderful symbol that's universal that really symbolizes kind of nomadic tribes and Plains Indians. So the circle is really anchors the design. It's both a universal form and a symbolic marker of that nomadic culture here in the Western Plains. It's rooted in kind of this universal nomadic form of heritage. So it really references the cultural memory of Plains Indians in this area. But it's also a gathering spot today. So like I said, there it is right there. That's what a wallow disc kind of looks like. You'll still see them today out there. But like I said, it's a canopy concept positioned right there at Route 66. One thing that we did was we kind of tied, I was inspired by going to the museum here, the Canadian County Museum, I believe. Yeah, and it really talked about this kind of heritage of Route 66 coming from buffalo trails, that buffalo trails ended up being kind of hunting routes and then military wagon trails and wallows scattered all along there, and then eventually highways, Route 66. So really this is kind of an intertwining of all those heritage paths that really culminate at this gathering space. And it really fit into, there's the museum clippings right there. Man, you guys got a great museum and a great historian there for sure. So there's the intertwining paths there that lead up to the stage. There's your kind of discs that float around through the day. You know, it's really meant to be a learning trail. It's really meant to be a learning trail to kind of inform visitors about the bison, you know, and telling that heritage, really expanding Route 66 to broader regional narratives of our area, more importantly. And it really fit right into Adams Park here. You know, this is conceptual. You know, we're just now staring this down, but it was, when we had showed this to Matt, we kind of had a different site, and he said, hey, what about this little corner over here? This is just on the south side of the road here, just opposite of the 40-foot bison. So it's kind of actually proportional to the bison in terms of a wallow. And it really worked with kind of what we kind of saw existing here. Here's kind of an overlay of our proposal with the Adams Park community gardens and the orchard there. So it's meant to really just kind of stitch right in. That's what gave it kind of its curving form. So right here just to the bottom of the screen, that's really the gateway part that really announces it with its kind of sister project there, the big 40-foot buffalo. It's a gateway, but then it's also really a public shelter. So we really feel like it really brings in the visitor, welcomes the visitor, or greets or farewell to the visitor, but then also is very important to kind of local quality of life. And so it can host all kinds of events. There you see kind of the stage area and the picnic areas all kind of woven into this curated garden here. There it kind of is at night. You know, you can't do Route 66 without night. So it's really just meant to symbolize, you know, migration patterns, nomadic tribes, our wagon trails and ruts and cattle trails all the way up to Route 66. So the wallow canopy really is meant to bridge the past and the present, heritage and highway, ecology and economy. It's a civic amenity and a cultural marker, and it's really just an architectural lens through which the community can gather, reflect, and make visible the deep history of movement, exchange, and renewal across these plains. A lot of this was inspired by a book, Commerce of the Prairies. So we're really just kind of, reimagining, the Route 66 experience for the next 100 years. So that's what I got. Appreciate it. And any questions or anything? Like I said, it's a conceptual design. I mean, we worked really hard on it. We've looked at all types of designs in all types of places and really felt like this one resonated the most.
Any questions? We really appreciate you guys.
Sure.
And we can tell you've really put a lot of work into that. We've got several buffalo wallows on property that we have.
Yeah.
And I mean, you get to looking around, they're scattered all across the plains.
That's right. And I mean, after a rain, when it'd fill up with water and you could see them all glistening across there, I mean, really, it's powerful. I wonder what it was like back then. But like I said, this is really meant to be maybe even a catalyst to Adams Park, really directing some of those state resources to your great master plan for sure, and really being an amenity space for the community, but also important to get that visitor engagement. So if no more questions, I'll.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, as Andrew and Christine mentioned, we had talked previously about the incorporation of this project into Adams Park and how it relates to or is in harmony with the Adams Park Master Plan. And so I think that what they're asking for today is a letter of support. And I get some of the other details as far as exact location and how it ties in and where, where it goes. I think on the opposite side of where the Iron Bison is slated, that does make some sense. But I obviously wanting to make sure that it does tie into the plan. But I don't know that all those details have to be fleshed out today, right? Sure. But as far as a letter of support is really what the question is today.
Right.
So, yeah. So that you can make an application for the 66 Commission funding.
And this actually what you're calling the commons area.
The commons area of the plan. Yeah, and I think that some of the other things that we've talked about is the canopy area being used for other community gathering type activities, right? It could be like a rest stop, but it could also be a place of commerce or trade, like a farmer's market type.
Exactly, yes. It's just a totally flexible, it's just a shelter, more than anything to accommodate all types of events and things like that. I mean, we were really inspired by the public nature of the commons and the community gardens and everything going on there. So, and we could get to talking, but got the rodeo grounds and all that, some other stuff going on there. I mean, I was there, during Friday Night Lights. There was a ball game going on. It's just a really wonderful active area even right now. So.
I move to authorize the city leaders to issue a letter of support for the Buffalo Wallow project.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to issue a letter of support. Roll call starting with Councilwoman Nethery.
Yes.
Councilman Brothers?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Black?
Yes.
Councilman Schaefer?
Yes.
Mayor Jensen?
Yes, motion passes. Thank you. Brings us to item 20A, presentation given by Historic Downtown El Reno Foundation, El Reno Burger Day event.
Casey Trejo, and I'm the current board president for the Historic Downtown El Reno Foundation, or formerly known as El Reno Main Street. A few weeks ago, I sent Matt an email that we're excited to begin the countdown for the 38th Annual Burger Day Festival taking place on May 2nd in the heart of historic downtown El Reno. As we celebrate nearly 4 decades of this legendary event, we are more excited than ever, being that it's on Route 66 for the centennial. Our festival has seen incredible growth, with over 11,000 visitors attending last year's event to witness the cooking of our 850-pound fried onion burger. As we transition into a volunteer-led nonprofit model this year, our board has focused on building strong systems to ensure Burger Day remains a premier engine for economic development and community preservation in El Reno. I'm excited to share that our vendor applications are rolling in. We have our website set up and we've had great engagement there. So for that, to ensure that 2026 festival is our most successful and structured year yet, we would like to formally request the City of El Reno's partnership through a financial contribution of $15,000, which is $5,000 more than last year. So last year, the city contributed $10,000 financially. And with that, the city would be a platinum sponsor, which is our highest level. And in addition to that would be some in-kind support, which I can walk through those, but you all have a copy of each of those. And those would be somewhat, there's a few things Matt and I have already talked about, some things we may not need that we had last year and things like that. So that's our request. Any questions?
Any questions?
On your in-kind, for the police, you had them blocking off the traffic, or the area at Friday night, but you didn't say anything about security during the event.
So, yes, we would have them during the event, and I believe that's included on our permit. If it's not, we'll adjust that, but it should be included in our permit.
I didn't see it on that either. That's why I was asking. I thought, okay. I knew you had talked about maybe doing your own security, but
we did.
I'd like us doing it better.
Yes. Did we include that, Lindsay? Okay, thank you. Lindsay will make the adjustment.
Any other questions?
Any other questions?
Casey, thank you. Thank you for presenting. Brings us basically to item B, discussion, consideration, action, and/or possible amendments regarding monetary support for historic downtown El Reno Foundation's El Reno Burger Day event. I'll make a few comments. Casey, I appreciate you coming and presenting and talking about Burger Day. As you said, it is a historic event, almost 40 years in El Reno. Last year's event was, I think, one of the best ever. And this year being the 100-year anniversary on 66, it needs to be as great as we can make it for the community. Hopefully the weather is just like it was last year, not like it was 2 years ago with raining and all of that. It's just an important thing for our city to, just the whole event and stuff. And we appreciate your hard work and volunteers and it takes the whole community working together to really put this event on and pull it off and stuff. Any other discussion, questions, or comments?
Foundation. I think there were some questions on the legal entity itself, and I think that those questions have been answered.
Yeah, we hired a nonprofit attorney to handle most of that, so we didn't have to change a whole lot because we are just changing our name, essentially. We're staying under the Main Street umbrella, so we're still under their umbrella. And we have an attorney that's updating our records to ensure that we've never lost insurance. Our insurance is transferred, and we are able to secure event insurance. It's just right now it's too early. So once it gets closer to the event, then we'll secure that.
And I know talking to Ricardo at El Reno Tires, he has 2 of your stone monuments that he was wanting to sell back maybe to the city or Main Street or somebody. I said, well, I think the city or the Main Street already owns them, so I would just recommend you letting them move them out of your yard and not try to sell them back of something they already own. So,
is it last year was 10,000, like you mentioned. This year 15, and a condensed time frame, right? It's going to be less hours of operation. So why the increase? Is it just everything?
We don't have any city funding throughout the year. We went to a volunteer base,
right?
And so we are
just to help offset.
Offset that. Yes, that's
okay.
And we discussed the reduction in hours with the police department and some vendors, and it feels better for all parties for those hours to be reduced just by a little bit.
What are your hours you're looking at, roughly? 10 to 3, yeah.
It was 10 to 6 last year. But people
It dwindles down at late afternoon, especially if it's warm. And
Tim was able to pull some placer data, and it shows a pretty sharp drop also. Maybe around that 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock hour is when it starts really declining.
UConn has another festival the same day.
Maybe we should go longer. Work the morning shift.
Make a motion to provide the Burger Day event with $15,000.
I'll second.
motion made and second to, excuse me, provide $15,000 monetary support for historic downtown El Reno for El Reno's Burger Day event. Roll call starting with Dr. Schaefer.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Black?
Yes.
Councilman Brothers?
I'll abstain.
Councilwoman Nethery?
Yes.
Mayor
Yes, motion passes. We look forward to a great event.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for work, it's a lot of work. I really appreciate it. Brings us to item 21, discussion, consideration, action, and/or possible amendments to approve ordinance number 9398, an ordinance amending chapter 275, section 19 of the Code of Ordinances of El Reno, Oklahoma, amending regarding transporting open containers of alcoholic beverages, low point beer, or marijuana, amending and repealing conflicting sections, providing for severability, and declaring an emergency. Chief Brown.
Appreciate the opportunity to present. November 1st of this year, 2025, Oklahoma State Statute, Title 21, Section 1220, A2, goes on down the line. It's most commonly referred to as a TOC statute, meaning transporting an open container, whether that be of beer, alcohol, wine, or spirits. Statute changed now that it encompasses the same thing for medical or for marijuana, period. Prior to that, there was no provisions for a violation for transporting an open container of marijuana or smoking marijuana, riding down the road and what have you. So with the statute changed, we went in asking that we adopt the same language to our municipal ordinance, our TOC ordinance, so we're able to prosecute it in municipal court instead of separating the cases. And the DA has a real issue. We have a traffic stop that we would normally cite and release on, but we have a TOC. That way we're not dividing part of it in municipal court, part of it in district court, and it just makes the case go a lot smoother.
Questions?
Nope, make a motion to approve ordinance number 9398 and to declare amendment to 27, and to declare the amendment to 275-19B as an emergency. You have to make, okay. All right, so the first one.
Motion made and seconded to approve ordinance 9398. Roll call starting with Councilwoman Nethery.
Yes.
Councilman Brothers?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Black? Yes. Councilman Schaefer?
Yes.
Mayor Jensen?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to declare ordinance number.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to declare 9398 an emergency. Roll call starting with Dr. Schaefer.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Black?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brothers?
Yes.
Councilwoman Nethery?
Yes.
Mayor Jensen?
Yes.
That's right.
This relates to
Oh, okay. I was going to say this looks like the same thing, but it's a different number. Discussion, consideration, action, and/or possible amendments to approve resolution number 26-046, resolution of amending fees for Chapter 275, Section 19 of the Code of Ordinances, El Reno, Oklahoma. Amendment regarding TOC of alcoholic beverages, low point beer, or marijuana.
This is associated with fines and fees decided with the open container.
Okay.
So it's an amendment to that.
Any discussion?
No.
I will note the fee didn't change, it was just the language for the fee. Add marijuana.
Move to approve resolution 26046.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call starting with Councilwoman Nether.
Yes. Councilwoman Brothers? Yes. Vice Mayor Black?
Yes.
Councilman Schaefer?
Yes.
Mayor Jensen?
Yes. Motion passes. Item 23, discussion, consideration, action, and/or possible amendments regarding ordinance 9399, ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances, El Reno, Oklahoma, adding section to code, chapter 142, establishing a pre-construction safety review process for remodeling work, providing for scope of work submission, limited consent-based walkthroughs, limitations of walkthroughs, and written determinations, providing for fire marshal participation, providing for administrative appeal, providing for limitations of authority, providing severability, and providing for repealer, and declaring an emergency. What are we providing?
Thank you. So Development Services has been struggling a lot with unpermitted work being done, trying to determine what the scope of a remodel is. And so we worked on this proposal with our city attorney and spoke with the fire marshal, and we decided that establishing a pre-construction safety review is a good option. So it would be a free walkthrough. So you'd submit your scope of work, and if we can't determine from that if it needs a major or minor remodel, we would request a walkthrough. We already kind of do that now, and most people are open to it. We're catching more people just doing work. So they'll either board up windows or tell us they're just painting. The inspectors catch that they've replumbed the whole house or gutted it. So this kind of is a protection from the beginning. Last year, out of 28 condemnations, 23 had electrical hazards and 12 had known plumbing issues, and most of them were unpermitted work. And so the earlier we get involved, we feel is obviously the better, because some people are just doing a lot of unpermitted work and then remodeling. So the safety review would allow us to determine, do you have your smoke detectors? Do you have no leaking sinks, no backing up sewer, and things like that. It would residential is really the main issue right now. Commercial, it's a lot more stringent anyway. Fire marshal would be involved in the review if it's anything multifamily or commercial. But we would also recommend establishing a fee for a reduction if they participated in this program. And so if a permit is required, giving some type of discounted rate to kind of incentivize that. I will note, I think it's imperative to have it for any condemned structure. And so we do request that that's a requirement. Any condemned structure has to go through this process before it can obtain a certificate of occupancy.
Okay. Any questions?
And as Emily mentioned, I mean, this is sort of what's already happening in the condemnation process. Most of the property owners who come to the administrative hearing are open to allowing building inspectors and code enforcement officers to do a walkthrough with them to see, what all is actually necessary in a remodel permit. Most of the properties that go on the condemned list need a significant amount of work. And so this also, it is a preventative measure to protect life and safety, but it's also codifying, kind of what is already happening in the code enforcement process.
In International Building Code, residential and existing building code, it outlines what requires a permit. So we're not expanding any of those requirements, just holding people to them. So we're not anything. So if it is truly cosmetic, we're not going to force permits that are unneeded. So that written determination would explain as to why it's major or minor remodel permits needed, or if one's not needed.
No, this is optional though, correct?
Right.
This is not a mandatory, another hoop.
Correct.
It's just meant to be a resource.
Yes. And if we're unable to determine, due to their scope of work submission, that would be in our findings. But also, I think how it reads in the ordinance is if a reasonable person determines or thinks that a permit would be needed, at that point we would issue a stop work order, is essentially what would happen in those situations. But yes, it's voluntary and strongly encouraged, and you would get a discount on your permit.
Is there any way to make that wording a little bit more specific? Saying if a reasonable person that feels a little open-ended. I'm nervous that we're gonna get into more overreach.
I don't feel we're really doing overreach now, but as the building official and the building inspectors, they have pretty good discretion as to, they would notify why they believe that I don't know if Jana has a recommendation on the wording. That's typically how it reads in code, is reasonable person.
With a lot of our working without permit that we've discovered, right, a lot of folks will say, well, I didn't realize I needed a permit. This eliminates that excuse because we'll go walk through the house or property, whatever it is, for free.
Yeah.
And let you know, yes, you need a permit, or no, you don't need a permit, proceed, so.
We can probably create some type of checklist type thing that puts the category as to why they feel why a permit is needed.
That would be fantastic.
I think the checklist can be done administratively. I don't think it's appropriate to put it in the ordinance, so that, because if the checklist changes one checkbox, then we would have to go back and amend the ordinance. So I think typically on like subsection H, like she said, if the city observes work that could cause a reasonable person to conclude the permit may be required, that's the typical language that the building inspectors are trained on, right? And they're looking for certain things when they are patrolling or when they're, going to a property to see if work is permitted, if there's a hole in the roof, right? And they're working on it. Those are things they know, like you said, on a checklist, or what their training has given them, what a reasonable person means, essentially. But yeah, I think in the notes we had already discussed doing a checklist.
On page 3 in the memo, it kind of outlines on the next steps. Publishing clear public guidance, providing a transparent review checklist, track outcomes, report back to council if requested, and we can review the ordinance after, give it 6 months or a year, and if there's anything we feel is working or not working, we can adjust as needed. But we can definitely put together a checklist so they know.
I might point out too that paragraph J does create an appeals process, and so they disagrees with the interpretation of reasonable is. I think that's going to the Board of Adjustment, correct?
Yes. And a good rule of thumb, if it changes the structure, changes the system, whether it's mechanical, electrical, plumbing, or changes the use or exit, if it's none of those things, doesn't need a permit to ever really, and then if it's at least one of those things, it would. So that's just kind of a good rule of thumb.
Since you all are already doing this, do you expect much strain on your department's capacity and responding to other inspection requests?
I don't think so, because it would help us tremendously to get it, because we're spending a lot more time after the fact at these condemnations. We spend a lot of staff time on these condemnation properties, and if we're able to get it from the beginning, and then even if establishing that process, we might be able to, in those code hearings, say, hey, they went through this process, we recommend it's gonna take them 3 months to get it into compliance. So because we know exactly what needs to be done, so we would be able to kind of have a better gauge of reference of how long it would take them. So I think overall, it'll save us a lot of time in the long run.
It could save property owners who are in the condemnation process money as well, because there have been a handful of properties where they have updated the electrical without notifying us, and when they go to try to get the certificate of occupancy, it's flagged for one reason or another, and they've got to pull all the sheetrock off and redo it because it wasn't done up to code. So that's part of the idea as well, is to get them out on the front end of things.
And the whole reason why we do what we do is it's
Life safety.
Public safety, yeah.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Make a motion to approve ordinance number 9399.
Second.
Motion made and second to approve ordinance 9399. Roll call starting with Dr. Schaefer.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Black?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brothers?
Yes.
Councilwoman Nethery?
Yes.
Mayor Jensen?
Yes.
I make a motion to declare ordinance number 9399 an emergency.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to declare ordinance 9399 an emergency. Roll call starting with Councilwoman Nethery.
Yes.
Councilman Brothers?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Black?
Yes.
Councilman Schaefer?
Yes.
Mayor Jensen?
Yes. Brings us to item 24, discussion, consideration, action, and/or possible amendments to accept and approve the agreement with the Oklahoma Department of Commerce, Oklahoma Route 66 Commission for the Oklahoma Route 66 Revitalization Grant for the El Reno Route 66 Mobility Hub Project.
This is to accept and approve the contract with the Oklahoma Department of Commerce for our Oklahoma Route 66 grant for the project. So for $725,000 towards the project.
Any questions? Discussion?
Move to approve the agreement.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve agreement with the Oklahoma Department of Commerce and Oklahoma Route 66 Commission. Roll call starting with Dr. Schaefer.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Black?
Yes.
Councilman Brothers?
Yes.
Councilwoman Miller?
Yes.
Mayor Jensen?
Yes. Item 25, nomination of 2 candidates for the Board of Trustees of the Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group for a 3-year term commencing on July 1st, 2026. Any nominations?
Go ahead.
Well, I would nominate Justin Battles from Mustang and Tim Lyon from Midwest City.
Okay. Any other nominations? Seeing none, we'll vote on nominating Justin Battles and Tim Lyons to the Board of Trustees of Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group for a 3-year term. Roll call starting with Councilwoman Nethery.
Yes.
Councilman Brothers?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Black?
Yes.
Councilman Schaefer?
Yes.
Mayor Jensen?
Yes. Brings us to reports. I want to thank, a couple of weeks ago, this week's been pretty warm, pretty mild temperatures, but a few weeks ago, going through the storm, just thank all city staff for helping things run smoothly and everybody working hard every department that the city has, from police, fire, emergency management, and forgive me if I miss somebody, but airport, shoveling off the runway. The north, what was hard to believe, the east-west roads had less drifting on the north-south, and I know it was going by the airport, tremendous amount of snow on our runways out there, but streets and public works, we had several water mains break in that time, and they were out in freezing sub-zero temperatures working on that to keep the services on for everybody. And Chris and I talked quite a bit, Matt and I talked quite a bit going into it, and the city was ready, and everything was smoothly. And I understand, some of the neighborhood streets, heavy snow and it's hard to get around in automobiles and stuff, but some of that is a blessing that you could shelter in place and not be out, because it was extremely cold. And but I just want to say thank you to everybody. Yesterday was an exciting day for El Reno, Oklahoma, with the groundbreaking of our new courthouse. I mean, it's a county project, but it's a historic. It's just historic for Canadian County. Build a new courthouse, and I just appreciate the county commissioners continuing to keep our courthouse in downtown El Reno. I think that's extremely important for our community. We're the county seat of that, and to have it right in the heart of town is great. There's a big crowd there yesterday. It's going to be a beautiful building and carry the county and the city and into the future. I mean, it's state-of-the-art design, but I want to follow up with what Ray had in the paper about the dry weather and drought. I know we had some snow a few weeks ago, but it really didn't add that much moisture to things are extremely dry. I know ACOG put out a drought report that this has been the driest January in 100 years, and a really extremely dry winter. Please be praying for the rain that's supposed to be coming this weekend. We hope it comes and we'll address, but there's been several grass fires and fire departments always ready to face those, but it's just, humidity's been low. If your hands aren't cracked open, maybe you got a lot better lotion than I use. But I just, things are good, and just to see Ryder Watts, that's just over and above to help, a kid that he doesn't know and, under a dog attack and just put himself in danger. Just, I just tip my hat to him. But thank you to everybody. Council members?
I wanted to say, just bring attention to the fact that having adopted the Adams Park Master Plan and now see things happening, right? The fencing, maybe the Buffalo Wallow project, that's beautiful. It really is fantastic. I think they've done a great job, and we'll see where that all lands. But to see things starting to happen, you drive around town, I think there are many beautification projects, despite what others may perceive. Things are coming down that are dilapidated, and things are being built. We've got the Brakes Plus breaking ground out there, and to see the courthouse breaking ground, and it's just exciting to drive around town. Now we've approved the grant money for the transportation hub over here, and to know that project's going to be coming online hopefully before too long. And as the roundabout gets finished up out there, it's exciting. You go around town, it looks nice. It's something to be proud of. Like this young man who's from Clinton, I suppose that's at least where you're at. But to say that, man, El Reno is setting a standard, and that's been a long time since we've been able to say that. And it's exciting. It looks nice around town, and you're starting to hear a lot more positive comments instead of negative ones about our community. That's a good thing.
To expand on Mayor Jensen's, I really appreciate the dedication and professionalism of our city employees. Often on Facebook, and somebody is identifying a problem or complaining about something, and they will comment at 10 at night, and at least I see it at 2 in the morning or whatever, but they will respond and say, hey, we're gonna look at that tomorrow, or I'll get somebody out there, or I'll message about something, and hey, we're on it. And there's not an 8 to 5 job for them, even when it's not snow and ice. They take care of the city, and I appreciate that, and it shows.
I agree, and you guys just don't get the credit that you deserve. And like Chris, one of the things that we had in here is one of our projects. He was able to save us another $25,000 on it. Chris is wonderful at saving us money on these projects. And they don't get the credit that they deserve. We really respect every one of you.
Yep.
Well, I have in my notes that, along the same line of thinking, we've got, obviously our employees work very hard during working hours, but we've had employees working very hard after hours on training. We've had a lot of training, a lot of certifications happen. Recently, we've got 4 employees that recently received CDLs in the streets department. We have Cambry Brookshire and Jessica Porter recently obtained their SPHR certification, which is highly regarded within the HR industry. We have Chris Smith working on his Class A sewer lab licensing, which certainly, sounds very complicated. And like a lot of times, and then we have Seasoned Mix, who recently became a certified court lawyer. So a lot of these things are happening outside of working hours. That they're studying and they're putting in the time, and they're and on the job working extra hours to clear the streets and make sure things are operating and responding on a Sunday or Saturday or in the evening, or at Walmart, talking to customers about, or visitors of Walmart about projects that are happening. we get stopped everywhere, right, Chris? But I think that, you know, certainly I echo the same sentiment that our staff, we have great staff and deserve a lot of credit. So. Oh, I have more. Sorry, got carried away. Okay, I think we have a slide for EMS data. We've got monthly EMS report, 400 calls for service. We have a non-urgent call response time of 7 minutes, 17 seconds. Urgent with response time times average 6 minutes, 53 seconds. So our EMS program is very timely and doing a great job of really helping us out here in the community. So those 3 trucks are busy. Okay, and then next slide. Is over to Tim.
Okay. Unfortunately, it's another month of me not giving great news. I just suck the life out of the room, I feel like sometimes. So we got our sales tax numbers for the month of February. It is $1,002,503.10, which again misses our budgeted target of $1,078,000. For the year, we are down on monthly average of a little over 1% on our target over there. A little bit of bright side is on the use tax, we did bring in $282,198.23. This well exceeds our monthly budget of $215,000. When you combine the two, we are meeting our budget plan for the general fund. However, we are not meeting the budget plan for the capital improvement fund. So we'll have those conversations more as we get closer to, as we continue to proceed with budget season right there. The hotel motel tax was also down. It was $27,353.98. However, we are still 0.81% above for the monthly average for the year right now. So again, we're meeting just a little above our target over there. And I just want to make a little comment real quick of there's a lot of movement happening with the Parks Department too, getting ready for the sports complex to open in March in literally 3 weeks. It's amazing how many various departments are involved with making it happen and everything else there too. My understanding is we've had some incredible enrollment numbers or sign-up numbers for baseball, doubling what they were last year and stuff. So the good news is people that play in El Reno also shop and eat in El Reno. So
good. That all broadband? Oh, here's broadband. Okay.
For broadband, we are at 715 active services. Construction has started in Settlers Crossing, so they're moving along there. And then fiber installation is continuing up the east side of Rock Island, all the way to the railroad tracks, and they're just going to continue to march downtown. So we're moving along, turning up new areas.
I'm excited.
I know you are.
You guys are really close.
They've been on both sides of your house.
I know, but there's not to it yet, but both sides. I said, don't, get everybody else hooked up.
So they're coming. It's almost ready.
Thank you.
Move to adjourn into executive session?
Second.
Motion made second, roll call starting with Councilwoman Nethery.
Yes.
Councilman Brother?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Black?
Yes.
Councilman Schaefer?
Yes.
Mayor Jensen?
Yes.
to approve the settlement agreement and release for the lawsuit Ed Graham versus City of El Reno filed in the District Court of Canadian County, case number CV 25435, and allow the mayor or city attorney to sign all documents.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, roll call starting by Schaefer.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Black?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brothers?
Yes.
Councilwoman Nethers?
Yes.
Mayor Jensen?
Yes. Motion passes, goes to adjournment.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.